Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Folks, thank you so much for being a viewer and a subscriber. Folks, I have some important news for you. I have some important news about what President Biden said to the Democrats today in the Oval Office. I have some important news about the latest jobs report. And as we finish that, I expect to take you live to the President of the United States speaking and making his case. I'll tell you what I think he's about to say. Welcome, folks, to this important episode of Ignition Time. This is breaking news from Ignition Time. Folks, the January jobs report came out, the January jobs report, and it was not a very good report, folks. Overall, only 49,000 jobs were gained, and jobs were lost in important sectors. Take a look at this. This tells us that the US economy added 49,000 jobs. People in travel, leisure, and hospitality actually lost jobs, retail lost jobs, businesses gained jobs, and education gained jobs. So the economy added just 49,000 jobs, folks. That's not very good at all. And President Biden was speaking with Democrats in the Oval Office today, and the president said that only 6,000 private sector jobs have been created. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about businesses, and so very few private sector jobs were created. The president said, and I'm quoting the president, folks. I'm quoting the President of the United States right now. The President said only 6,000 private sector jobs have been created. At this rate, it's going to take us 10 years to get to full employment. This is about people's lives. This is not just about numbers. These are comments from the President of the United States. He said this in an Oval Office meeting today to the Democrats. And President Biden also said that, when he commented on this extremely grim jobs report, everyone, he said that that's not hyperbole, it's fact, that it'll take us 10 years to get to full employment. And he said, we cannot do too much here. We can do too little. In other words, the president wants big, bold stimulus. And by the way, folks, I also have important news. House Speaker Pelosi said that it'll take just 2 weeks, for the Democrats to get the bill passed by the House and over to the United States Senate. Yep, you heard it here first on Ignition Time, folks. You heard it here first on Ignition Time. House Speaker Pelosi said that it'll take the House 2 weeks to pass the bill in the House and get it over to the Senate so that they can vote on it. And remember, the bill has to go from the House committee to the Budget Committee to the Rules Committee in the House, and then it gets drafted. But Speaker Pelosi said, we're going to do this in 2 weeks and get it over to the Senate for signature. And that is what's going on. And folks, let me actually show you what went on last night on the floor of the Senate, everyone. Let's actually take you to the floor of the Senate last night, because this actually is happening right now. Let me actually give you folks a preview of what's going on. Give me just one moment. I'm actually going to pull that up for you right now. There it is. Just a moment. Here we go.
Mr. Brown, no. Mr. Blumenthal, no.
We now come to the end of a debate that has gone on for over 14 hours.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 50, the Senate being equally divided. The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the concurrent resolution as amended is adopted.
So, folks, all of that is happening. All of that actually happened this morning, everyone. Let me actually take you back to the jobs report, everyone, because the jobs report is crucial. Let's show you the jobs report on your screen now, folks. 61,000 jobs lost in leisure. These are the January numbers. 38,000 jobs lost in retail, 97,000 jobs gained in business, and 49,000 jobs gained in education. So although there were some encouraging signs in the jobs report, the President of the United States, folks, the President of the United States said that it's going to be 10 years before we get back to full employment. That's not hyperbole, that's a fact. And he said, we can't do too much, we can do too little, we can do too little and sputter. Now, folks, this is what I think the President is going to say. The President is going to say, look, the jobs report was not good. We need to do more rather than less. And also, by the way, folks, as I'm recording this, I can actually confirm for our viewers and subscribers that the President is sending the military to California to help staff the vaccine sites, COVID vaccine sites. So, folks, a lot of aggressive action being taken, but to help us get out of this. And the president, here's what I think the president is going to do. I believe the president is going to make a case for large stimulus. Is going to say we cannot waste any more time. We need to do this now. The jobs report was terrible. Who cares about the stock market? Who cares about low interest rates? We need to help people now because those the poorest among us, the ones who've been impacted specifically in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality. Folks, here are the numbers, folks. The numbers don't lie. These are the jobs report, the latest jobs report, and I believe the president is going to make a case and say, hey, we need to pass major stimulus right now. We cannot wait anymore. And so, folks, for those of you who are just joining the channel, this morning, the United States Senate passed the budget resolution 51 for 50 against. All the Democrats voted in favor of it, and the tie-breaking vote was cast by the Vice President Kamala Harris. So the Vice President actually cast a tie-breaking vote, and what we have is a situation where now the bill, the essentially the bill is going to be drafted in the House, and House Speaker Pelosi did say, like I said, that within 2 weeks that this would be sent to the floor of the Senate for a vote, everyone. So this is super interesting what's going on. And House Speaker Pelosi did meet with the president this morning, and the president is actually as he's emerging from that meeting, he is scheduled to speak right now. So we expect the president to speak any moment now. And folks, as soon as the president comes on, I will present this. But I'm expecting the president to emphasize the urgency of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. I'm expecting the president to use the jobs report to further bolster his case for the $1.9 trillion package. I'm expecting him to say the Democrats are united. I'm expecting him to say that using budget reconciliation, the Democrats are going to get it done even if not a single Republican votes in favor of it. I'm expecting him to quote certain numbers about the economic recovery and how it has stalled. I'm expecting him to say we need more money for vaccine testing and distribution now. That's what I'm expecting him to say. I'm also expecting him to say that there's going to be aid for state and local governments, which, by the way, has been a big problem for the Republicans. Now, in case you folks are new to our channel, everyone, it's very clear. I just want to be clear. It's very clear that the Democrats wanted $360 billion, and the Republicans wanted $0. And also, as far as the stimulus checks are concerned, the Republicans wanted smaller checks, but the Democrats are staying with the $1,400, which is very likely to happen. I haven't covered Marjorie Taylor Greene today because I believe that's a complete waste of time. So I'm not even going to waste time on our channel covering that. But I want to wait till the president speaks because I want to focus on the things that matter. Not sideshows looking for fundraising. That's not what I'm going to do on this channel. So as far as the president is concerned, like I said, we're still waiting for the president to speak, but the president is going to again make a strong case for more stimulus. I believe the president is going to quote several numbers from the jobs report. The president is going to say, hey, we need more money for vaccines, testing, tracing, and distribution. We need, by the way, that is an area that both sides agree on, the $160 billion. But the president is going to make the case for state and local funding. He's going to make the case for enhanced unemployment, which is a very important component of all this. So, folks, like I said, I believe that that is what the president is going to talk about. And right now, folks, we're just waiting for the president to speak. In the meantime, folks, again, here's the latest jobs report. And folks, this is as clear an indication as any that that the economic recovery is indeed stalled. So let me know what you folks think of this jobs report, everyone, while I get one of my other screens and I'm just trying to keep track of whether the president has started speaking yet, so I can take you folks to him live because he is scheduled to speak any moment now. And as soon as he speaks, I'll be sure to get that over. Just let me move that. As soon as he speaks, I'm going to get that over to you folks. But folks, take a look at this. The economy is indeed struggling, and I believe that folks, this is an indication, as any, that there is a need for urgency to pass the stimulus package as quickly as quickly as possible, everyone, because you know, we can do too little. If we do too little, we can permanently hamper the economic recovery. So we are expecting the president to speak any moment now, and expect the president to make a strong case for this. You know, all the news networks are sort of blowing up about a new press conference this morning from Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I'm not gonna focus on that because I believe that's just a sideshow, and that has nothing to do. But folks, the important thing is that House Speaker Pelosi said she does hope to send stimulus package to the Senate, folks, within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. So this tells us, folks, if we're talking about a timeline, I believe that if the Senate can vote on the stimulus package maybe by the end of the month, then we could definitely have, we could definitely have the stimulus package passed. Best case scenario by the end of the month, which would mean that the $1,400 stimulus checks would arrive in the first week of March, no later than the second week of March. That is the best case scenario, and that does look very likely right now. If you folks want me to fill you in on some comments that are happening from on different things, I'll be sure to do that. But yeah, I think right now we're just waiting for the president. Everyone, let's just wait for the president to jump in, and he's expected to speak any moment now. Okay, I appreciate your patience. Let me see. I think I've covered everything else that is relevant. So just hang in there with me, folks, while I wait for the president to come online, and then we can explore the president's thoughts on this stimulus package. Simultaneously, we're going to be having the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, who's going to be conducting a press briefing today, like she always does. So I'll be covering that. I'll be covering that for you folks as well. At the moment, folks, like I said, I'm waiting for the press. Excuse me, not the press. The live briefing. Oh, the president just put out a tweet. Let me actually read out the president's tweet. Everyone, just bear with me for a second. I think the president's about to go live in a couple minutes. Everyone. Oh, there he is. I see him. I'm going to go live. Let's go live to the president of the United States right now, everybody. We're going to go live and hear from the president of the United States right now. Just a moment, folks.
Still in trouble. We added just 6,000 private sector jobs in the country last month. Overall, we added 49,000 jobs. And this at a time when we have more than 10 million people out of work. 4 million people have been out of work for 6 months or longer. And 2.5 million women have been driven from the workforce. 15 million Americans are behind in the rental payments. 24 million adults and 12 million children literally don't have enough food to eat. These aren't Democrats or Republicans, they're Americans, and they're suffering. They're suffering not because of anything they did. Through no fault of their own, they're suffering. Once-in-a-century virus has decimated our economy, and it's still wreaking havoc on our economy today. And so much of it is still about the virus. We're still in the teeth of this pandemic. In fact, January was the single deadliest month of the whole pandemic. We lost nearly 100,000 lives. I know some in Congress think we've already done enough to deal with the crisis in the country. Others think that things are getting better and we can afford to sit back and either do little or do nothing at all. That's not what I see. I see enormous pain in this country. A lot of folks out of work, a lot of folks going hungry, staring at the ceiling tonight wondering, what am I going to do tomorrow? A lot of folks trying to figure out how to keep their jobs and take care of their children. A lot of folks reaching the breaking point. Suicides are up, mental health needs are increasing, violence against women and children is increasing. A lot of folks are losing hope. And I believe the American people are looking right now to their government for help, to do our job, to not let them down. So I'm going to act, and I'm going to act fast. I'd like to be doing it with the support of Republicans. I've met with Republicans. There's some really fine people who want to get something done, but they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. I've told both Republicans and Democrats that's my preference, to work together. But if I have to choose between getting help right now to Americans who are hurting so badly and getting bogged down in a lengthy negotiation, or compromising on a bill that's up to the crisis, that's an easy choice. That's an easy choice. Here's what's in that plan. First, it puts $160 billion into our national COVID-19 strategy, which includes and setting up of vaccine sites, more important, as quickly as possible. So job number one of the American Rescue Plan is vaccine. Is going to keep the commitment of $2,000, $600 has already gone out, $1,400 checks to people who need it. This is money directly in people's pockets. They need it. We need to target that money so folks making $300,000 don't get any windfall. But if you're a family that's a two-wage earner, each of the parents, one making 30 grand, one making 40 or 50, maybe that's a little more than, well, yeah, they need the money, and they're going to get it. And here's what I won't do. I'm not cutting the size of the checks. They're going to be $1,400, period. That's what the American people were promised. Very quickly, here's the rest of my plan. It has money for food and nutrition so that folks don't go hungry. I think our Republican friends are going to support that. It extends unemployment insurance, which is going to run out on March 13th of this year to the end of September of this year, because we're still going to have high unemployment. It helps small businesses, thousands of whom have had to go out of business. It has money to help folks pay their health insurance. It has rental assistance to keep people in their homes rather than being thrown out on the street. It's got money to help us open our schools safely. It has money for child care, for paid leave. It gets needed resources of state and local governments to prevent layoffs of essential personnel, firefighters, nurses, folks, school teachers, sanitation workers. It raises the minimum wage. It's big and it's bold, and it's a real answer to the crisis we're in. That's one more thing, and I want to say it very clearly on this, be very clear on this point. It's better economics. It not only addresses the immediate crisis we're in, it's better for the long-term economic health of our nation and our competitiveness. My plan creates more jobs, creates more economic growth, and does more to make us competitive with the rest of the world than any other plan. Don't take my word for it. Just look at what leading economists across the nation have said, and in the world and across the ocean have said. Wall Street investment firm Moody's says if we pass the American Rescue Plan, it will lead to 4 million more jobs than otherwise would be created. The nonpartisan Brookings Institution has looked at the American Rescue Plan and said the GDP will reach pre-pandemic projections by 2021, meaning we'll have recovered by end of 2021. Much sooner, by the way, than if we do nothing. Look, just this week, the Congressional Budget Office projected that if we don't take action, it would take until the year 2025 to return to full employment. There's also a growing chorus of top economists, right, center, left, that say we should be less focused on the deficit and more focused on the investments we make and can make now in jobs, keeping families out of poverty, and preventing long-term economic damage to our nation. The simple truth is, if we make these investments now, with interest rates at historic lows, we'll generate more growth, higher incomes, a stronger economy, and our nation's finances will be in a stronger position as well. And the payoff won't just be in jobs. but in our global competitiveness as well. Because we'll be regaining our economic strength faster. So, the way I see it, the biggest risk is not going too big. If we go too small. We've been here before. When this nation hit the Great Recession that Barack and I inherited in 2009, I was asked to lead the effort on the Economic Recovery Act to get it passed. It was a big recovery package, roughly $800 billion. I did everything I could to get it passed, including getting 3 Republicans to change their votes and vote for it. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't quite big enough. It stemmed the crisis, but the recovery could have been faster and even bigger. Today, we need an answer that meets the challenge of this crisis, not one that falls short. And that's the issue facing the country right now. What Republicans have proposed is either to do nothing or not enough. All of a sudden, many of them have rediscovered fiscal restraint and the concern for the deficits. But don't kid yourself. This approach will come with a cost. More pain for more people for longer than it has to be. Secretary Yellen talks about the scarring effect that comes with prolonged economic pain. We see that scarring effect in economic data, but more important, we can see it in the lives of people living with long-term unemployment, living in hunger, at wits' end over how to keep their jobs, take care of their kids. And then she talks about the need to alleviate long-term suffering in the economy. We can do that. We don't have to wait until 2025 to get back to full employment, which will be the case if we don't do this. Again, independent analysis from places like Moody's on Wall Street, Brookings Institution, the American Rescue Plan could achieve that by the beginning, full employment by the beginning of next year. So to me, this is what this moment comes down to. Are we going to pass a big enough package to vaccinate people, to get people back to work, to alleviate the suffering in this country this year? That's what I want to do. Or are we going to say to millions of Americans who are out of work, many of whom have been out of work for 6 months or longer, who've been scarred by this economic and public health crisis, don't worry, hang on, things are going to get better. We're going to go smaller, so it's just going to take us a lot longer, like until 2025. That's the Republican answer right now. I can't in good conscience do that. Too many people in the nation have already suffered for too long through this pandemic and economic crisis. And telling them we don't have the money to alleviate their suffering, to get to full employment sooner, to vaccinate America after $8 trillion in deficit spending over the past 4 years, much of it having gone to the wealthiest people in the country, is neither true nor necessary. We do have the resources to get to full employment sooner. We do have the tools to reduce a lot of suffering in this country. We just have to choose to use them. So it's time to act. We can reduce suffering in this country. We can put people back to work. We can gain control of this virus. That's what the American Rescue Plan does. And that's what I'm determined to do. And that's what I hope we're going to be able to do in the near term. So may God bless you all. May God protect our troops. And I truly believe real help is on the way. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Mr. President, how could you better target who gets the $1,400 check?
So, folks, that's it. That was the live, folks. That was a live address from the President of the United States of America, folks. I want to make sure you can hear me clearly because sometimes the audio goes in and out. So, if you can hear me clearly, just type it out into the comment section below. But, folks, the President said people are hurting across the country, and today's jobs report made that clear. And the President said, folks, these are the important comments, folks. He said, I'm going to act fast. I'd like to do it with the support of Republicans, but they are not willing to go as far as we need to go. He says it's an easy choice to go with the big stimulus relief over bipartisanship. And folks, I have to tell you that People don't care about partisanship. We care about, checks in the mail. We want to, pay our bills. We want to keep the life of bipartisanship. People are going to remember checks in the mail. And the president said they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. He's referring to the to the Republicans. He said they're not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. When he was talking about, zero Republican support for his bill. And the president also said, I'm quoting the president of the United States, if I have to choose between getting help right now to Americans who are hurting badly and getting bogged down in a lengthy negotiation or compromising on a bill that's up to the crisis, that's an easy choice. I think the president has made it very clear. He has made it very clear. Folks, this is as clear an indication as any that the Democrats are going alone on the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. Folks, this is a clear indication. Folks, please click like, please subscribe. Whoop, right here, right here, right here. I'm looking at a screen which is a mirror image of what you're looking at. So sometimes I'm not even sure where I'm pointing. But folks, the president has made it very clear as he can, that the Democrats are going alone on the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. And he said, I'd like to be doing it with the support of the Republicans. I've met with Republicans. There's some really fine people want to get something done, but they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. The president also said, I've told both Republicans and Democrats that my preference is to work together. But if I had to choose between getting help right now to Americans who are hurting so badly and getting bogged down in a lengthy negotiation or compromising on a bill, it's an easy choice. So the president, called Republicans really fine people. That's what's going on, everybody. Folks, let me know in the comment section what you think of this pretty interesting live stream that we had. And folks, one of the main reasons that we've had this entire situation with the president of the United States is, folks, because of this jobs report right here on your screen. Take a look at this jobs report, folks. This is the latest jobs report that just came out this morning about what's going on as far as the economy is concerned. And in fact, folks, there's something interesting. There's something interesting going on right now. I believe Warren Buffett is speaking with CNBC. Let's check it out, folks. This is going to be interesting. This is happening live. Actually, no, I take that back. It's not happening live. Never mind. It's not Warren Buffett. It's something else that's going on. But folks, I think let's get back here, folks. This is significant, and this is why we have this position from President Biden. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, folks. I want you to know that I really appreciate you for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I really appreciate you watching. If you learned something new, please give me a like. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. That would mean a lot to me. I appreciate you all. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm. A little action that you take helps me as a creator, as a content creator on YouTube, because a lot of time and effort goes into the creation, the production, the release of these videos, the technology behind the scenes, and all the good stuff. Thank you so much. Please give me a like. Please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. I appreciate you all. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.